Buying an investment property in College Station is a big deal. Whether you're an Aggie parent just looking to save on rent or an investor looking to maximize their profits, there's a lot more that goes into all this than just scrolling Zillow and submitting an offer. A little bit different of a studio setup today. It is late, I am tired, but I'm excited to announce this new video series I am producing. In this series, I'm breaking down every single step, starting from the absolute beginning of what you should even be asking yourself when even going to look online at a property to 4 years, 10 years down the road of ownership. We'll be covering things like what to ask yourself, how to search online for properties, how to tour these properties, what to expect during inspections, how closing works, the escrow process, important timelines. I'm covering every single step. My goal is to give you a real playbook that most consumers don't get to see until it's a little too late. I know every single one of my clients I've helped in the Bryan-College Station area, I am constantly preaching clarity, so why would I not do that with this platform I have here on YouTube? Here is the entire video schedule on the screen. It may look overwhelming, but we're gonna tackle this week by week, step by step. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to reach out to me. There's 1,000 different ways to in the description. But today in this video, we're starting with the foundation, what you need to be asking yourself before you ever even open a property website. This is where you're defining your goals, what your criteria is, where your number guidelines need to be in order to make sure that this is the best deal for you and your Aggie student. This groundwork is super important and something I'm always recommending to my clients upon first meeting them. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Rylan. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Bryan-College Station area with the Stuart and Jane Group. I help Aggie parents every single semester decide if renting a property or buying a property makes the most sense for their own goals, but also for their Aggie student. Be sure to drop a subscribe so you're not missing any of my next posts. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, here's why you need an actual foundation. And no, I'm not talking about the slab this home sits on. I'm talking about your basic criteria that you are looking for within this investment. Real estate is not about luck. It's about clarity in each decision that you are making. If you're not setting clear criteria up front, you'll waste tons of time chasing properties that just don't fit. Or worse, you could end up owning something that doesn't perform. A strong foundation saves time, it reduces your risk as a buyer, and helps you make strong, confident decisions in this property. The first step in all this is to start clarifying your goals. Start with the big, easy questions. Why am I buying this property? Is it to save on some rent, housing for student, cash flow, appreciation and resale potential down the road? Maybe it's all of them. Other big questions to be asked yourself is like, what's my timeline look like? Do I only want to own this property while my student is in school, like 4 to 5 years? Or am I wanting to turn this into a long-term rental for 10 plus years and on? Or do I want to be flexible with it? Maybe do short-term rentals on the side, Airbnb, house hacking, things like that. Also, really get clear on what your risk tolerance is. Are you wanting to be in a nice HOA that maintains the property for you, like a condo complex? Or are you kind of more of a hands-off owner that you're confident with the property's condition and being out of town and not being in an HOA, not having any like rules, regulations around it? Really ask yourself if you're comfortable managing this property with tenants in it that you may not know and all of the repairs and things you will need to fix on your own. This helps you understand what kind of property is your target property and how you can finance it, how you can buy it, how you can sell it later. Here are some core criteria for College Station investing. In your foundation, you should cover these 3 property types and maybe a 4th. It's just not super popular, but definitely a solid option. Figure out whether condos, townhomes, or single family homes are gonna be your jam. Or the 4th one being duplexes. Condos typically are a lower price point, a little bit easier to get into, but also higher HOA dues month to month, and a little less appreciation. Townhomes are kind of a middle ground. You have some independence, a little less maintenance, but a mid-range price point for townhomes. Then there's single family, some stronger appreciation, a little bit easier exit strategies, however, A little bit higher of an upkeep, a bit more repairs, a little bit more responsibility, and typically a little bit taller of a price point. Okay, moving on, you wanna really look into the size and layout of this property that you're looking for. Will 2 bedrooms work? Will 3 bedrooms work? Will 1 bedroom work? Will 5 bedroom works? Figuring out what floor plan you're looking for, super crucial. Typically, I'm seeing between 3 to 5 bedrooms, kind of being that sweet spot for investment properties. Also figure things out like if a balanced bathroom situation is gonna be important for you. Things like a 4-bed, 4-bath are super marketable for the obvious reasons. Also, it's important to note that equal size bedrooms in a property typically can rent a little bit easier and smoother. It can sometimes be a little tricky when you have one huge master and then 2 smaller auxiliary bedrooms. But it's not a deal killer, so things like that are important to think about. I have videos breaking down all of these property types, so go back to my channel, check those out, and let me know if you have any questions on them. Some more basic criteria that I highly recommend you think about for Bryan-College Station is proximity to campus. Proximity to TAMU is super important for things like the bus routes. Avoiding flood zones unless there's a super strong demand. These traffic zones for game day, super important to make note of. Right outside of these zones are typically a pretty good sweet spot for livability and appreciation and demand. Okay, moving on, some other strong criteria for College Station is understanding the HOA rules and regulations in each one of these neighborhoods. It's not just a blanket statement. Every neighborhood has their own specific rules and guidelines. Always be checking these things, especially if you're looking into complexes with like townhomes and condos. That's where things can get super specific. There's things in there like lease terms, certain durations of what you can and can't have, pet policies, occupation caps, things like this. Healthy reserves are super important whenever you're an investor. So understanding these HOAs and how much you're gonna owe is a big deal. Okay, lastly, price range and budget. A big one and arguably probably the most important. I would go over some common price points here in College Station for condos, townhomes, and single family, but honestly, it ranges and property conditions vary, so I'm not gonna really put much in here, but typically I'm seeing most Aggie parents invest between $275 and about $350. It's super important to remember that it's not just price that matters most, it's the numbers and strategy behind what you're doing that makes all of this one complete plan. Okay, moving on from some of our basic criteria for Bryan-College Station, let's get into kind of where the scary part happens, the financing of all these properties. I mentioned at the beginning that you kind of want to put some guardrails up for what you're looking to do, and here's what I mean by that. Numbers can make or break your deal, and it's crucial to get them set up front, that way you can sort properties way faster. Your foundation should include a target rent price per bedroom. Typically we're seeing $600 to $800. Don't quote me on that, it's just a rough estimate. Minimum return metrics, you should be factoring in things like in your cap rate. Some expense assumptions like taxes, HOA dues, insurance, homeowner maintenance, cash reserves just in case anything happens, vacancy assumptions. Vacancy assumptions are super important when you're factoring all this in. You can't always guarantee that the property is going to be cash flowing 100% the entire year. So you want to factor in some downtime when you won't be cash flowing this property. This may already feel overwhelming to you, but I promise you it's not. This is something I work through all the time. If you have questions, let me know. But here's where most people are cutting the corners when they're doing this whole process. My entire goal is to make sure nothing comes up and bites you in the ass. And when you're not doing the prep work or taking this seriously from day one, things like this will sneak up on you and make you regret ever buying a property and having what we call buyer's remorse. But here's the truth. A clear foundation lets you screen properties in 60 to 90 seconds on Zillow or whatever property website you're using on these computers. When you go out and actually start looking at properties, it makes these tours focused. You know what to look for. It gives you tons of leverage when you're making these offers as well, because you know your numbers, you know where you need to be. It's not super emotional. It's clear cut and very easy to understand once you do this prep work. Doing this work up front is what separates the professional investors to the people that regret ever making this decision. Step one in buying investments in College Station is building your strong foundation. Define your goals, define your criteria, and your financial guardrails before you're ever even stepping foot in a home. In my next video, I'll start showing you exactly how to start looking for properties, screening these properties, and understanding what they are online. If you'd like a copy of the exact worksheet that I've been reading off of this entire video to answer all these questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram, text me, however you feel like you want to reach out to me, do so, and I'll get it over to you and let you start working on it. Here's a little sneak peek, just so you can understand that I'm not BSing you. This document's great because it makes everything that I just said in this video easy to understand and easy to fill out. So again, if you want it, message me anywhere. I check my phone, so that's always great. And with that being said, again, drop a subscribe so you're not missing my next post. This series is gonna be a long one, and I'm excited to break down every single step in depth. So this is gonna be super fun. I hope you follow along for the ride. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions or anything you wanna see from me in the future. Shoot me a DM. I'm happy to hear any and all feedback. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the new setup. It's not forever, it's temporary for whenever I'm not up at the office shooting my videos. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it is later than I would like to admit. So with that being said, I'm gonna sign off and I will see y'all next week.